It's a beautiful day to be here. And I say welcome to the Convo. Welcome, guys. My name is Tabitha Williams. If this is your first time of joining us on the show, I say welcome. Today is a bit unusual, but I wouldn't call it unusual, just different, kinda. We have a new co-host in the house, one of our of our co-hosts that decided to grace us with our face today. We have the beautiful, delectable Victoria in
Thank
the
you
house.
so much, Tabitha. Hi, everybody. I'm Victoria, and I'm a creative director, and I'm glad to be here today.
Yeah, and we're glad to have you here today. And you can see if you look to the right, we have. Let me say someone. Let me keep the gist for later. But it's going to be part of our show today. So straight away to what we are discussing today. Before we go there, I am so sorry. You know I love you guys. I love you. I always do love you. We want to say thank you to our viewers, right?
Thank you so much, viewers, for constantly engaging with our posts.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for your comments. We look forward to more comments on our YouTube channel.
Yes. And don't forget that for every of your comments, we always respond. Thank you so much. So keep those comments coming, engaging comments, things you want us to discuss that we've never discussed on the show. Another angle you would want us to look at the topic from, please keep them coming. And if you're yet to subscribe, come on, why now? Subscribe. No, that's pum. And if Emi would say, subscribe. So straight away to what we are discussing today on our show. What we are discussing is coming from a tweet that we found on X, formerly Twitter, but I still love to call it Twitter. And I'll just read as quick as possible. This person says, I can be a very selfish person, and it's because I have seen how men who do not take care of themselves are treated at the end of the day. I won't over-prioritize you, no matter how beautiful you look. In this instance, is referring to a woman. I will always come first for me. And I know this might sound strange, but if I haven't given myself a 1 million gift, I am not getting it for anyone else. I have made it a culture to first spoil myself before spoiling anyone else, because it doesn't often come to women naturally to do that for you. That's quite emphatic. It's a statement. Bam. Okay, and what I have just read as a backstory to it, and that has to do with Asher Khan encountering a downfall driver in one of his acts on social media. If you don't know Asher Khan is a social media influential person, let me just put it that way, and he's a philanthropist, and he encountered a downfall driver and decided to play 30 seconds with Asher Khan with him, and all the man bought was for his wife and children. And after that, the Asher Khan decided to further ask that, what do you want to get anything else? And he said, yes, I will still want to get something for my wife and children. And no, the fact that he was just mentioning my wife and children, everything he bought was for his wife, and children. And going to his house to deliver the gift and meeting the wife, who is a fan of Asher Khan as well, further questions came up. And Asher Khan asked, how much are the children's school fees? 2 children were in that video. How much are the children's school fee? And the man got it right. No, maybe for me, my opinion is that as a woman, you would have an idea of your children's school fees. If I'm asked, how much does my son pay for as his school fees? How much did he pay this time? I know it. You get total figure, but the wife did not get it. She had to give a round figure, and the man was the one that got the answer right. Like I can't remember the exact figure, but to the last naira note, the man got it. So, and I think this and some other things that people saw in the video prompted them to go beyond the Asher Khan video and do their own research. They went out there, they looked into the woman's account and wondered why she acted out with that. There's something different and something fishy about this video. For a man that prioritized the family, the wife especially, and children, they didn't see the wife doing much more as expected. And so it made them go out there and they found a lot of things. And then they saw that the wife was living as a single mother, more like co-parenting. Our relationship status on social media says complicated. Meanwhile, the husband is seen as let me use the Yoruba word, and taking care of them. And so that story brought about this post that we are discussing today. And this person is talking about is going to be a selfish person. He's saying he can be that. Not even he can be. From what he said, he's a selfish person. And he's going to prioritize self-care above every other thing. Taking care of himself, we have to come first, either as a married man or as a single man, before he can take care of any other woman. And I just want us to discuss this before we go to some other things. The one I said, bam, that he made at the end of this post. So what do you think about this, Victoria? No, that's a long
just trying to deliberate on the matter.
Okay.
First off, thumbs up to Ashakai for being that kind. But yeah, I guess there's a phrase that talks about he who pays the bills know how much it kind of hurts. I mean, the man knew the exact figure. That's all right, because he probably is paying the bills. But the woman was not so far from. She said 90,000 plus.
Okay.
And then the man goes on to say 97,000. So it wasn't so far.
Down to the last naira, 70 naira.
That should have been a problem for social media users. But it's social media. You can.
Social media will always be social media.
Right. But yeah, we're talking about the man who talked about prioritizing himself. I think everybody should prioritize themselves in some way. If you take better care of yourself, you can take better care of everybody else.
That's
right.
true.
So I don't think that should be a major problem. But bringing it to this situation, what tells us that the downfall driver did not actually prioritize himself by prioritizing his family?
Well, okay. I really can't say much, but based on what I saw, the video I saw, I really wish we could play that video. Based on what I saw, it was quite obvious that the man did not prioritize himself. The looks, the dressing, compared to getting to the house and meeting the wife, the way the wife was dressed, the interior of the house, compared to the job the man was doing. I mean, it says a whole lot. It showed that the man was not prioritizing himself. So, and, more like a video says a lot, more than a picture. People will pick things that you don't want them to pick. And that's why some people are really careful of putting their life online out there, or sharing their life with people out there. And that was what happened in this video. And people pick those little details that let me say that were unsuspecting. And that's how we got ourselves here. And so this person is talking from, aside from the Ashakan story, he's talking from more like experience. And I can support him in the sense that I have also seen how men who do not take care of themselves are treated at the end of the day. I have seen men who do not take care of themselves. They prioritize others, families, those with the mentality of more like selfish mentality of always coming to get. Yes, they prioritize them over their well-being and self-care. And I want us to pick it from there. So with that, I'm going to be introducing our guest. Yes, you've been wondering, he's been quiet all day. Yes, he's our guest. We have Mr. Stanley in the house. Mr. Stanley is a banker, is a husband and father to 2 kids. He said I should put it in that order.
Thank you very much.
So thank you for joining us, Mr. Stanley.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you.
What an interesting conversation.
Okay.
Nice to see you, beautiful ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right. So you've been a part of our conversation so far, as much as you've not said anything about it. So this is your time to say something about this. Based on this post that emanated from the Ashakind story, what do you think?
Okay, I think the first thing is to start with the mindset, the build up to the system of a man. Men are built differently when you address a man from a biological point of view to even his mindset, psychologically and physically. Men are designed to want to defend, provide and protect. And that is where a man's core ego, core system and core structure comes from. So addressing that post, you need to first ask yourself, is this guy a single person? Has he really gone through the phase to say, oh, I have left the point where it's about me and I'm ready to take on another person's responsibility? Because as a man, you must grow. And the first stage of growth is identifying that I am not going to just be about me all through my life. I'm going to be taking care of other people. So I usually advise people, if you've not gotten to that point as a man, where you can see less of your need, less of yourself, and you can start seeing the need to care for others. And that is where marriage comes in. So even when you get into marriage, you don't rush to start having kids. And that's why there's a problem and a disconnect. You have fathers who love their wife but don't love their kids, who wants the marriage but don't even want to be, they're not prepared for fatherhood. You get, somebody's telling you that, I told you I don't want kids just yet. All these bills, all these expenses, I'm not even getting attention. There are men who are married but do not feel that they are loved enough. So they don't have enough to give back in that marriage. So in the case of this man, you can see a man who has gone through 360 degree. He has gone to the point where he loves himself enough. He has come to a point where he no longer see himself as the sole priority in life. Wow. Because one of the things marriage does for you is to tell you as a man that you are not just here alone. You've done your bit. You've achieved what you want to achieve. You have a place you're going. You're going towards the direction. Even if you're professional, you're starting a career. You don't longer see yourself as the need for that job. So when you're taking a job, your first thought is not, oh, this job will fulfill my needs. No, this job will fulfill my family needs. This job, I know a friend who was given an offer and the first thing he said is, let me call my wife.
Wow.
He's not going to be doing the job, but his first priority is, let me ask my wife, is this the direction we should go? If you look about even the jackpot syndrome today, a lot of people are probably jackpotting because their wife says it's time to go. Everybody's leaving, let's leave.
Let's leave.
So I think for men, yes, there's a need to balance it. There's a need to think about what works for you, because you must build a system that family accepts you. Most of the men who tell you, if I give everything to my wife, what if I'm old? What if she leaves me? It means you've not built a system that revolves around you as a family.
Okay.
Because
I'm sorry for cutting you because of our time. I mean, you've spoken well. Am I right, Victoria? I'm enjoying the conversation, but we really, really have to drive it as fast as possible. Okay, so I think we've drummed on the point that a man is naturally built to care, to be in charge, to want to provide and protect. Okay, so maybe that is it. Okay, but I just don't want us to forget the point that I also mentioned, that in being a man, in being a husband, in being a father, where, I mean, you develop this role, because let me say, until you get to that point, that is when this inbuilt character or attitude, they might be there, but that is when you really start acting them out. We have men out there, for me, that they are still boys. They are not mature to that stage yet. They don't want to take up responsibility. They don't want to be in charge. They don't want to fend or defend someone. Do you understand? Okay, so maybe when you get to that position of having a family or having someone that you care for, you're responsible for, that is when all those inbuilt characters can start coming out. So I get that point. But let's not also forget the point that I mentioned, that there are men, this inbuilt character is there. Maybe culture, the African culture demands it of us as a man. You are naturally made to do these things, because if you consider cultures outside Africa, I mean, some men, I think
it's more like a balanced system outside where there is no gender. It's more of gender equality. So when we talk about gender inequality, it's misinterpreted. Gender inequality can also be against the man. But most times when we talk about gender equality and the role play, we tend to believe that a man should provide, a man should be strong, and a woman should be genderly equal when it comes to authority and not in responsibility.
Well, okay, maybe we should not go there, because I don't agree with you on that.
So it's important that, I'm not saying that's my mindset, but I'm saying that we must first be able to erase and understand who a man is and in what context. In this context, this is a man who understands his role as a man and says, oh, I am supposed to provide. My needs come second. And you must also define what makes you happy as a man. And that's why before marriage and before you even start having kids, you need to be sure that I have found fulfillment in myself. I have found fulfillment in the fact that if all I have to take a day is a meal and my children are happy, my wife gets fed, I am fine. But if you're at that junction where you feel like I need to be taken care of, I need to go for spa dates myself, I need to take my gym routine is important.
That is exactly the ones that's the area I'm talking about. Self-care. We've pointed out the fact that, okay, a man is made for this and that. Although I'm not saying that, okay, let me not go there today because of our time. But I'm talking about the need to prioritize self-care. Is this poster right in saying that a man needs to prioritize self-care? Or maybe we should start from the point. Okay, Victor, what does self-care mean to you?
Taking care of yourself, as it's put, taking care of yourself. And for this poster, I think a better way to have put it would be, if you take care of yourself better, you can take care of everybody around you. You don't in a sense, his post made me feel like when he said prioritize yourself first. If you're a family man, that thing of, like he said, that part of prioritizing yourself there's a comma, because you can't actually prioritize
it's relative. It's relative in the sense that you have to build a system around it. A system in the sense that if you want to take out your money and say, oh, I've just been paid salary, it's boys' night out, what system have you put in place to take care of the family? If there's already a system that takes care of the family, your wife, your partner will obviously not be bothered about you hanging out with your guys.
Okay, let's break it down. What exactly do you mean system?
Okay, system in the sense that when you get your pay, how does that go around in the family?
Okay.
When your children's school fees, how is the bill paid? The light bill, the food bill, how do you even get your family moving every day? Then in terms of even care, what nature of support does your wife or you get, or your family? There are people who have extended family who live with them or checking on them, or have them come. I know friends who will tell you the kids are with the parents, with the grandparents. You understand? So there's a support system. You understand?
Okay.
So what level of support system have you built? Some men will tell you, see, I don't want extended families. I don't want any house help. But the wife has to do all this job alone. And then the same man tells you, don't worry, don't even work. I will provide your needs. No, so when you see a man and you say, oh, why is the man the only provider? You need to question what system is at play.
Yes, okay.
Exactly. What system has he built? There are men who do not have a problem. Go to work, I'll go to work, we'll have a help, we'll come together on the drawing table, we'll see what works for us as a family, and then we can build from there. I think when we discuss self-care for a man, it's important to understand how the man is built, especially before he even gets married. What are his priorities? Is it somebody who says, oh, see, for me, I like nice clothes, I like designer shoes, I like stuff for myself, that matters to me. So anybody I'm getting married to, I know men who use expensive perf, it's important for them. I know men who likes to drive nice car. And then if you get married to such a man, he might prioritize some of those things above your primary needs. There are men who are basically, they are more concerned about their appearance than even their children and their wives' appearance. On the reverse, there are men who will tell you, see, even if I don't eat, there are men who tell you, I have not bought any new clothes for the whole year. But as long as they look at their wife looking nice, for them, they are fine.
They are fine.
So self-care is a state of the mind and is down to self-interpretation of what makes you happy, what gives you fulfillment, and what provides security for you as a man.
Wow. I like the breakdown.
That's
That's interesting. Okay, so it's up to every man to know what self-care means to him or her.
And you must also be able to define what family have you built. If you built a family where the children are largely dependent on their mother, or see you as a third party in the family, the kids can't come to you, they can't discuss issues with you. You are just that guy who sends money. Because we must be careful. Because especially as men, at the point where your kids or your spouse sees you as just a financial provider, there's a problem. Because if that money stops coming, you have no value to this.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What you just said now reminded me of an incident that happened in my home. I'm sorry. Let me quickly share. So my son was on holiday with his grandparents, and suddenly he just upped and said, I don't want to stay here again. I want to go home. Just call my parents, just call my mommy, call my daddy. And then his grandfather was going to call his father, my husband. And my son, we were told that my son said, no, don't call daddy. Daddy is going to be busy on the system. He will not come and pick me. Call mommy. I just want to, I get what he's saying. So I just want to relate and pick a point from there that the kind of system or the kind of way you project yourself or you present yourself to your children, it matters. And that actually it taught us a lesson in the sense that, okay, so our son now sees his father as a very busy person. He's always on his system, because when he's on his system, he works from home sometimes, and when he's on the system, you don't disturb that. He doesn't want distraction. And so we had to reorganize ourselves.
I think the other thing too is, this is actually not to the man now, it's to the woman. The perception we have of our father was not built by our fathers alone. That perception was likely built by our mothers. So if a wife consistently engaged the kid, make them understand that, see, that money came from your dad. Oh, dad loves you. Daddy said I should take you out. Daddy checked on you. Daddy will have come for open day, but he's busy. Wow. But he sends this. Daddy said I should give you this. There are times that my mom did things that my dad didn't ask her to do for us. but made it look as if my dad was fully aware and involved in that process. So your love for your father is heavily communicated by your mom, not just your dad alone. Because actually from a man, if you want to be a principled man or a disciplinarian as a father, you need a wife who can balance your perception in front of your kids. But imagine when you're trying to correct the child and the mother is saying, leave my child alone, no, don't beat him. You end up being that man who is seen as just a provider, who does not really love and care. And so when there are issues, your children do not see you as that man they can go to. So in that system, and men must also recognize when they failed to build the ideal system, or when the system is wired against them. I must be honest with you. There are times that as a man, your family is even wired against you. Your wife has moved on emotionally from you and do not see the need to protect, and sees the need to protect herself for the future. And so drags the children along to her side, especially when you have grown-up kids, making them feel like your dad didn't try. I did everything. So when you have money, remember it's me that was there.
Not
because
your dad.
The woman does not feel that in the future, she'll be fine. But a man must be able to assure his woman that away from the kids, I love you. It's my job to take care of you. Not even the kids. So you don't need to set the kids up against me. The kids would go. We will always continue together. Yeah. So most often than not, if a woman finds comfort in her husband, she wouldn't have to look for that same comfort in her kids, or building a future where the kids are against against their father.
Thank you so much. I mean, you've really done justice to this, even beyond what we envisaged. You've done justice, but there's still a part. We've talked about balancing. What exactly self-care is to every man is his idea of what it is, his definition, and it's up to us to balance it out. As partners in marriage, there's a need to balance it out. You get. So now there's a part of this post that I still want us to talk about, because towards the end, this person made a statement, or this man, because it's a man. He said, "Okay, I have made it a culture to first spoil myself before spoiling anyone else." So we are saying that there is nothing wrong as a man if you decide to spoil yourself first before spoiling someone else.
No. I think we must even understand what led to that. And somehow you must realize that some people do not have the love and care. Someone like me, my greatest strength is more expressed when somebody else is powering it. Let me explain. I almost do not have a plan for my birthdays. There's a system in place for that. From the work, the friends, associations, and connections. My wife over time, since we got married, has a system that I remember my last birthday, I was not even in town. I was not around for a couple of days. I was away, and the trip fell into my birthday. My birthday fell into the trip, and we tried to create more of a virtual reality to the same day, but everything waited to when I got back, and she almost replicated a birthday for me just 2 days after. You understand? Because that's a system. So if there's a system of love, you don't have to look for love. The reason why we have generators is because we don't trust the current power system we have. So if your marriage has a system to take care of you, you wouldn't have to try and look how to take care of yourself. And sometimes you must also realize that there are background to these things. Somehow, the way we are built and our experiences over the years, there are people who their parents, they've been divorced, or their parents who have been separated. One parent have had to suffer. Either a mother or father had to suffer. And so they go into marriage believing that I need to take care of myself. I need to protect myself. There are men who have also seen or heard stories where a father trained up the children, did everything. Mother is not the one enjoying everything. Father is left in the cold. So they come with that mentality of, what if this happens to me? Wow. So it's important that you know exactly the system you are in, and then try to correct it. You are a major player in that system. You might need to have conversation with your partner. You might need to have conversation with your kids. You might need to do better. Sometimes as men, we assume that we're doing enough. We say, I provide the money. I pay the bill. Paying the bill, providing the money may not just be enough. It might just be you helping her in the kitchen. It might just be you waking up in the morning and saying, let me clean the house myself. Let me take the kids to school. Let me be available today. Take a leave from work and not plan a vacation. Plan to be around.
Wow. Plan to be around.
I think I saw on that particular post of Ashrekan, I think I saw a comment where someone said that if I were this Danfo driver, on a day such as, because it was the graduation of the daughter. Yes. So on a day such as this, I would have taken a leave from work and being present so that people would not say, oh, so the girl doesn't grow up and say my dad was not present. So like he said, it's building a system and a balance. Because I remember growing up, my dad was the sole provider and his belief is my money, our money. My wife's money, my wife's money.
Yeah.
Wow.
If there's a need, I'll borrow from my wife. At the same time, he was also a work from home dad. At the same time, he would wake up very early in the morning, drive us to school. He was present at our graduation ceremonies. He was present at every moment of life in such a way that we couldn't grow up with that mindset that we have an absent father or a father who is just
He was
so
present,
busy.
he was
there was
available.
balance.
There was a balance. So it's about, I know work these days because of, how do we call it? TPN economy.
Yeah. but in reality, very few fathers can afford to do that. I know people who, actually for people who work in Lagos, but where you have to leave very early. I remember when I used to work in Marina, there's this couple that became my unknown friend. You know, in Lagos, we have unknown friends. Actually, when you join public transport on your way to work, I was just starting work then. And so, usually when I commute to work, I wasn't driving then. And so, there's a particular time they leave. If I get to leave the house around 5 a.m., we'll most likely be in the same bus. You get, in Lagos, we have those unknown friends. And somehow we get to, somehow say hi or good morning, or sometimes even notice that this person is younger, and then, but what I know about the couple generally is father and mother, they had 2 kids, you get, and they would lap the 2 children every other day. They would be discussing, engaging conversations. Sometimes you see them laugh. Now, you didn't see the pressure of their life. Now imagine if one person had to leave 5 a.m., go to work alone, maybe they don't work in the same direction, and then have to come back 10 p.m., 11 p.m. He's more likely going to be absent in the daily activities and operation of his home. But if the wife understands, and if they both understand that this is our situation now, we have a plan later, or we may not even have a plan later, but we need to even survive. And this man is carrying a lot of the burden. I think communication, understanding, and how you perceive your partner's sacrifice and what they do. Yeah. You understand? You have a wife who probably doesn't even work. Do you even vary what she does? Do you understand? Do you appreciate what she does? Have you ever told your wife and said, look, call your partner and say, look, I see what you do. Even as a wife, do you call your husband and say, I see what you do for us. Thank you. You do a lot. I saw what you did the other day. I recognize this. I see you've not even bought a new shirt. I'm hoping I could buy this, even if you can't afford it. Sometimes, when you can't do something, communicating your intentions might just be enough to get you halfway.
Yeah.
It might not get you there because love is an action word. But when the action is missing, at least say it. You understand?
Yeah.
Express it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are really, really glad you came on the show today. So we have to start rounding up. Okay, but before we round up, I just want to, drive home the points that we've made today. There is the need of, what self-care is to every man. You need to know it and build on it, thrive on it, share it with your partner if you have one. If you are yet to have one, work on it. Even as you grow to become a family man. And then there's a need to have a community of help, of support
a support system.
Yes, a support system. That's what you call it. A support system. If you are still single, start having that support.
In fact, it's important that support system is available when you are single, even before marriage.
Yes.
Because it's important that you realize that marriage is a sacrificial location. It's a sacrificial step. It's a sacrificial venue. You don't go into that event, that venue, that experience hoping to be taken care of.
Yes.
I think the problem we have now is I want to be baby girl life. And so a lady is going with, I want to be taken care of, I want to be a dog's wife. You get, and the guys too, especially in Abuja. The guys in Abuja are saying, me too. I'm looking for that rich girl, that rich woman, that rich person. Everybody just want to go into the next phase, feeling that I have seen enough shaggy. But that's not the point. The point is going into one, understanding that I am fine. I am a complete person. Yeah. I am not a burden. I am good on my own. So I'm going out there to say, okay, fine, I'm finding somebody who can compliment me, who I can also hold his hands, and we journey together, and we can support each other across
the way. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think if we should bring you, we should have a marriage seminar. Singles and marriage seminar, and we should really, really bring you on the show. If you want him back on the show, you should say it in the comment section now. Comments, please. Yeah, so we also mentioned backup plan. There's a need to have a backup plan. As a family, there's a need to have a backup plan. Yeah. It's not about finances alone. Beyond that, there's a need to have a backup plan in case something happens.
Taking care of the kids. I remember there was a time I was even on leave that time, and my wife was trying to reach me. I was on a conference call. It was a very important business call. My child was not feeling fine in school. They were trying to reach us to tell us, see, you might need to come around. I think the guy is really not feeling fine. Take him to hospital, proper medical care and all that. She couldn't reach me. I was on the phone for hours because I was on a conference call. It was a virtual meeting. And eventually she found her way home and shouted, "What are you doing on the phone for over 1 hour? This is over 2 hours. I've been trying to reach you. If our son dies," and I could feel that energy, immediately I had to end the call. I had to, quickly, get down to the school with her and all that. And I realized at that moment that somehow we must understand that there's a need to be available. Not just because you are present. Sometimes you are home with your partner, you're not there. You're not conscious of what is happening. You're not conscious of what your kids are doing. You're not even conscious of your partner's hair. Ladies want you to know that I'm losing weight, I'm adding weight, or I'm changing dress.
Yeah,
they want you to be involved in that process. And so it's important that when you go into marriage,
yes,
you understand that there's a part of you must give to the other person. But it's easier if the other partner recognizes the need to want to give that same attention, that level of commitment. And you must take a risk.
Yeah.
It's a risk. You must believe that you'll be fine.
Yeah, we believe that we'll be fine. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful session today, and I'm sure our viewers out there, they agree as well. So we want to say thank you to everyone that has joined us on the show today. We are really, really grateful. Please, to show that you enjoyed the show, you have something more to say, please drop your comments in the comment section of the YouTube video. Would really, really love to engage you.
Yeah, and a big thank you to Dynamics TV for partnering with us on this show. Thank you so much for your partnership. We do appreciate it.
Yes, and to every of our partners as well, thank you so much. To every of our supporters, we say thank you for being a part of the convo. And if you still want to partner with us, the door is open. we can't have too much partners. We can't have too much supporters. Please, you can as well partner with us. You can reach us at Dynamic Smiles TV. And so until next time on the show, while we say a big thank you to Mr. Stanley for joining us, and you as well join us to say bye to our viewers out there. So until next time on the show, we say bye.
Have you been yearning to take your event to the next level? Then come with me to discover unparalleled multimedia solutions with Dynamic Smile Media Creations. Yes, for your live streaming, corporate and commercial video production, premiere broadcast, product video production, documentary, graphic designs, web designs, audio production, film production, and we also train you for the aforementioned. All you need to know, we've got experienced crystal clear capture with our cutting-edge gadgets such as live digital mixer, high quality cameras, gimbals, drones, etc. What are you waiting for? Contact us today via 0814-029-4960 or 0815-327-4454. Email dynamicsmilemedia@gmail.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms at Dynamic Smile Media. Don't wait any longer. Elevate your brand with Dynamic Smile Media today, where quality meets innovation.